Okay. See if I'm actually live. Yeah. Cool. Now I just need to see if I can hear myself. You guys might hear my phone. Um.
Yo,
Okay.
okay.
Ah, sick.
See, I'm actually
All right.
live.
So today we're back with just some regular scrolling. Yeah, I figured I'd post something. I know it's been, man, I think it's been maybe a few weeks since my last video. And that's just because I've been putting together probably one of the biggest videos I put out in a while. I, I, I don't know what else to call these things because they're not videos anymore. It's more like, like a podcast like setting. But I'm putting together like all the information I need so I can give you guys this banger. So like, just as a little bit of insight, like this next video coming out is gonna be really really cool. Guaranteed something nobody's really talked about. The subject, yes, but as far as we're applying it and how deep we're about to go with it, absolutely not. So I'm very excited to release it. I just have to get a few more things together. I just want to make sure all the thoughts are consistent and all that good stuff. So I'm really stoked about this one. Anyway, I wanted to scroll just see what's going on with some of our like bigger creators or posters on Twitter if you're on Twitter. But I thought I'd start with the goat Broku today. I actually don't see a lot of his stuff on the timeline. I don't think he posts all that much, to be honest. Which is whatever. I wish he would, though, because Broku's got some really good ideas. And I say it all the time, but, like, Broku's the one who pretty much inspired me to, start making content. And he really put me on. He gave me a chance. So, I mean, chances are, if you're subbed to me, you came from Broku's channel. So it was really cool of him, of course, didn't have to do any of that. So I'm forever grateful to Broku. But let's see what he's talking about. So I'm pretty sure that's his real face there. Interesting. And then I think this is from Nine Fates, his own series, which I need to catch up on. I haven't read it since the first drop, so shame on me, but I definitely should. I think that'd be a cool one to just kind of cover. Well, let's see what he's talking about. Kingpin. I don't really watch that sort of stuff. Not in depth. I know it gets really interesting, but for some reason, American stuff just, I don't know. It just never really intrigued me. Stranger Things. Really just not your Black Clover poster. Oh, yo, what's up with this? Sorry. Had an alarm for some reason. Okay, we got... Oh, that's a retweet of mine. Okay, yeah. We'll scroll past that one. Do we have anything Black Clover related on here? Broku? What is this? One of the greatest TikTok... I'm afraid. We're live, and I know Broku can... Things with Broku can go left really fast, so I'm afraid to play any videos on here. Really? A bunch of Star Wars? Now, Queen... Oh, I was going to say, last thing I would expect on Broku's page is to, like, have a Queen Latifah retweet on there. Interesting. But, Star Wars fan, okay, like, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I actually hate Star Wars with almost every fiber of my being, for no reason at all. So, take that to the bank and cash it, I guess. Okay, so he retweeted Quan's post, so it's either going to be really, really bad, or it's going to be a pretty decent take. So let's see. This part was odd to me because he wasn't Quan doesn't know how to speak. This part was odd to me because wasn't he using spells against Zagrid? So I'm assuming this is referring to it is to Patri saying that he's no use without his Grimoire in a fight. Yeah. Which is what I thought about initially too, but then when we think back to this situation, Patri was wildly ineffective. Like, he did ward off one attack, but he was pretty ineffective in that fight. So I think we can give him the benefit of the doubt by saying he really would not be any help, especially since Zagrid is no Lucifero by any means. So if he was struggling against that, there's really no way he's matching up to what is this? To Lucifero. Oh, okay. These are so cool. People do this every now and again. What's up, Jason? Various biblically accurate angels. I think WK was telling me there's a guy on TikTok that does this as well. And I've seen this on YouTube pop up a few times. I think it's really interesting. It's catching on now, though, just because like people don't realize a lot of things about angels. But one of the bigger ones is that angels are fucking terrifying creatures. Like, in original text or close to original text, these guys are not really friendly for the most part, and they don't look appeasing. They're just, yeah, they're this. And I think here, that one should be a cherubim, or is it that one? No. Because cherubim have many eyes. That should be a seraphim. No, that's a seraphim. See, now I'm confused. Because I know seraphim have a lot of wings. And cherubim, yeah, cherubim should be like the wheels of God. They are. Because that's part of the video that's coming out soon, this week. So, yeah, that's cool. I really like that. We got Donna with the whiskey. Hey, whiskey promotion. I hate whiskey. I can't drink that stuff. I can. It's just a different kind of drunk. I don't know. How many chapters do I think are remaining for this arc? Hopefully not too much. I would think max. I would personally go for like, I don't know, man. Maybe like, 20 max, and that's so much though. I would like to wrap this up ideally within the 7 to 13 range is probably my preferred. I think Spade Arc has gone on quite long enough. And for me personally too, there's just been, I won't say dry parts, but for my style, and the things that I look for in a manga from chapter to chapter, there were just too many spots where I just wasn't really into it that much. So I don't want to see this go on for any longer than it has to. So, yeah, he posts about all this stuff that I have no interest in. There's no Black Clover stuff here anymore. Let's see. Okay, Devil Yami incoming. You know what? I think we're kind of all on board at this point with this, and I do want to say for the record that Broku was like the first one to come out with this, thought about Yami becoming a devil, just generally, but like not just a devil, but I think he specifically related it to Lucifugus. And then I'm just seeing a bunch of like other like random YouTubers saying like, oh yeah, and almost using like the same thumbnail that he used. That stuff like infuriates me to no end. I talk about it with WK a lot, but it's like, bro, the way people snipe theories from Twitter to YouTube is ridiculous. Yeah. So I ultimately agree with this. I think I took it off as my pinned, but I definitely think he is the perfect host for Belphegor. I'll stand by that. And I'm the biggest Belphegor simp in the community. Like that, it is what it is. So I'm hoping that's what happens because, Belphegor is such a cool entity. Like I just really enjoy him, and the way Yami fits in with it is just ridiculously coincidental, I guess. With relations to like France and finding love and pooping a whole lot. It's just all kind of there, and the dark magic, how it attracts things. You guys gotta watch that video, but yeah, it's or read that thread because that's all I did for the video. Because it's really cool. This was back, when this dropped. That was a banger. Leo's gonna come back and body Lucifero still. I probably just had the timing off, if anything, But this is heading back towards the beginning of the month, so I might hop over to see what's going on someone else's page right now. I posted a thing, so let's see if anyone is WK said, "Hey, Jack Oates, crackpot." I hope you're probably watching right now. Yeah, crackpot. Cool. WK. Let's see what he's got going on today. This guy. I don't know who this is, but I know he changed it for Fire Force, so cool. That's cool. What else? Let's see. We'll give it a like. We'll retweet. Do we comment? What do we comment? We'll say crack is bad, even if it's in a pot. There we go. Little life lesson for the guy. Also, shout out to him and his family. They got hit with, a nice little stomach bug. Again, week to week, this guy's life is absolutely insane. Last post, the 20th? What's today? Oh, it's the 22nd. It's not too bad. Yeah, that's probably what he's talking about. He hopes we all had a better weekend than him. Cool. Lucy upgraded from Ryzen to Toguro. Yes, I do realize it wouldn't be an upgrade in Yu Yu Hakusho. See, okay. I have no issues with this post, but like this part annoys me about Twitter so much. You guys understand why he had to write that, right? Because there are people on here that look, between WK and I, like, we primarily like to post theories and stuff and make observations about Black Clover primarily. Now, the thing is that people like to kind of, and this happens with not just us, but we talk about it a lot, so that's why I say it like that. People like to put, these creators and, theorizers into a box where they can't have fun on Twitter. Like, everything we say is absolutely dead set serious. And it's it's pretty annoying. So we have to, like, cover our ass by saying things like, yes, I realize in Yu Yu Hakusho, it's not an upgrade. So yes, it's just an observation, like, just having a little bit of fun. But yeah, people kind of take the thunder out from a lot of us on Twitter, and it gets annoying. So Boruto chapter is way better than what I first saw off leaks. I need to catch up. I'm now officially like a whole year behind on Boruto, and I was really enjoying it. I was just really caught up in work and Black Clover things on this channel. But Boruto's been going off. I've thoroughly enjoyed that series in and out. I don't know anything about Fire Force. This is a really good coloring, actually. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, this is really nice. Any art is appreciated, honestly, especially this panel. This panel is probably a close, my first favorite or a close second to my favorite panel in this entire arc. Like, I really, really enjoy this look of like, okay, you know what it looks like? It's just like, man, if Jesus rose out of the tomb, this is what it looked like. 2 grimoires, a fairy in hand, ready to kick some ass. Like, that's what my Jesus looks like. Anyway, no, this looks super dope. This looks really, really, really good. I would go to this guy's page. I've not heard of this guy, but I'm really afraid because anytime I look at a coloring page, there's definitely hentai on there, and I'm live, and I can't edit that out right now. So I won't, but yeah, this is really, really good. So shout out to Rox. Let's throw some love his way or her way. I don't know. It's 2022. You got to be inclusive. You know what I mean? All right. Actually got some really cool theories about Bell. Actually, the spirits in general. And that's probably what one of these messages pertains to, because I was talking to WK about it just before I went live. But I think it's something to consider, and it's really cool, and it does involve Liabe as well. So stay tuned for that. That should be a pretty cool conversation. This guy's all up on Fire Force. No one cares about Fire Force, my guy. Who reads that? Literally everyone except for me. I know. I think it's really important we support these Black Clover Funkos, even if your favorite isn't here. We're finally, yeah, just some good old support. Yeah. Yep, Fire Force is done. Go cry, dude. We're back at February 18th. Such a great chapter, oh my god, by Buzzard. Let's see what Buzzard's got going on. Because WK's over here crying about Fire Force ending. No. Shout out to Wizard King. Just like to mess with him. Let's see. Final message. How you doing, buddy? I seriously think these are all edgy teens. So, yeah. A lot of these guys, I have to remind myself, these guys are kids. And I gotta let, kids have the room to be kids, That's just kind of what it is. But it does get annoying regardless. He feels so badass in a divine way. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about that he does. He really does. Oh, that's right. Buzzard and Brood teamed up. So I guess Brood is editing and stuff. I actually watched... it was just like a conversation between him, Brood, and one other person. It was a girl. And it was pretty cool. It was a chill vibe. I really like what Brood has to offer. I think him and Brood are a really good match if they continue to team up. So I think he has a lot to offer Buzz and his channel when it comes to those conversation settings. Crazy, dude, everybody's talking about, see, that's too much, Buzzard. You can't be posting that stuff, man. But what was I going to say before I saw the hentai? Okay, no one look. Close your eyes. Oh, good. My computer is lagging. Crazy how everyone's talking about Fire Force. Maybe I should read it. I need to know what's going on so I can cry about it too. All right, let's see. Bro, Tabata went on a break before probably one of the best fights we'll ever see in the series. Oh yeah, there is a break. Oh, we ain't getting nothing this week, huh? Damn. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay. We all know how post-break Tabata snaps. This is going to be some insanity when Black Clover comes back, man. Yeah, it is. So this fight should be crazy. So, let's see. We got Yami and Noct with their infinite synergy, right? Which is super cool. I would just love to see their kids' playground on top of Twilight of Valhalla. I think that's the perfect spell in the series right now. And then we have Asta and Yuno finally back in action. Now, see, we've never seen Asta and Yuno fight side by side fully okay at 100%. And I think that's for good reason, because they should be bodying almost anyone in their way. But remember, Asta and Yuno work in a different way. Now, even though Asta's anti-magic, it doesn't stop Yuno from using the honing abilities to speed Asta's attack up, to power it up. It's just... I love the way they work together. Even though they're opposites, it doesn't mean that they don't have perfect synergy. And these guys, Yami and Noct, are, very similar and have almost the exact same match. Almost, I won't say the exact same, but almost the same magic. And it produces this wild effect that we haven't seen with other mages, right? Where... we haven't seen two light mages, hook up and make this crazy spell like they have to boost both of them up. And I just think it's really cool, and it just lends to their character dynamics as friends. Probably the best thing Tabata has done with characters and their dynamics in this arc. I really, really like this. However, I do think this is foreshadowing, because I think one friend from both groups is about to get screwed over somehow. If I had to say who from each group, I have to say Yami, and then probably Yuno. I think they're about to get screwed. And I know for a long time I was on board with Asta falling within this arc. And not to say I wouldn't like it now, but I think there's more signs for taking a turn here, and not because of anything in his character that's flawed, or like he's not just going to become evil or anything like that. But we've talked about it in my videos, you guys. But yeah, I think Yuno's about to reach a different state of mind, if you will. Yep. Oh, what else? Oh, he just retweeted my last one. Yeah, I was hoping that this arm would show us something by now, and it just hasn't. The arm right now just makes no sense. So I'm trying to make it make sense. And I think it would be cool if this arm showed us something, like, in the next chapter or the next few, that shows us what this arm can really do. Now, I know everyone's like, oh, but Liabe said it's just strength incarnate or power incarnate, whatever. And that's cool, but that's not really enough. Like, I don't know. I don't like taking those sorts of answers and just going like, okay, yep, that's just what it is. There are some points where I need to, of course, but for the most part, it's just a very lackluster like explanation of what it is. So, yeah. Oh, you guys see all these tabs up here? All these tabs. That's research, my friend. Anyway, it's just a very short, slight flex. But yeah, I was saying I hope that the arm is like Dweller in a sense that it can absorb any magic coming its way and then use it for Asta. Now, I know it wouldn't be super original because he's got a sword that does that. However, in the event that Asta does lose his swords, it'd be very cool to know that he's got an arm that will grant him these same abilities. And then, if not Dweller, more like Ledros, where Ledros has no attribute at all. So he takes in the mana and they come out in the form of like lasers, or more concentrated mana, I guess. Which would be also really cool. Not my preferred thing, of course, but then we have to consider that this arm is a combination of Liabe and Asta. So to have something much like Lysita's Affliction, where if he could even manipulate life force with that arm, would be insane, and would really make him a class of his own. I really dig that idea. Of course, because it's my idea. Duh. Just kidding. One Piece, I've never liked One Piece. I'm sorry. Whoa. Who did this? This is good. Jeez. I don't know how you guys color like this. Like, this is insanely good. Like, this is amazing. Wow. Yeah, this is really good. I'll throw a little love on this right now. Damn, this is really nice. Again, I want to click on this person to see what their art is like, but I'm so afraid, these guys be wilding out all the time with the hentai. So I won't. I'll probably peep it once I log out of here. But man, just kind of look at this. This is very, very nice. It's got a good amount of depth. It looks creepy. The shading is great. I love this. Probably my favorite Lucifero one so far. Let's see. Okay, we're going to show... Sorry, I'm looking at the chats right now, trying to answer you guys. Gravity, what's going on, my man? Do you think the primordial forces might be a thing in Black... elaborate by what you mean by primordial forces. Because I did have a video, I think it was the last one, where I'm talking about, which we're not going to talk about how I forgot to edit out the mistakes and the spaces. We just won't talk about that. So, in the last video, I was talking about how each Supreme Devil is going to have something very physical that they provide as a magic attribute. And the point to this is that aeons in history, so not eons, but Aeon, these are almost the reign of certain gods, if you will. So to make this very short, you start out with, and this is kind of the whole point of the Rosy Cross, the Order of the Rosy Cross, is that you have your center flower, and this is the initial aeon. This is the pleroma, the perfect all god, like the god of everything, no matter what pantheon you're in. And then from there, this god creates beings, and these become the petals, and those are separate aeons. So these aeons, what happens is, let's say one aeon creates this ripple effect, and this first layer of petals is the rule that it's set in place for the universe. So for Nama being the very first supreme devil, the first rule, if you will, was fire. So fire plays a very big part in all things within our universe. And then you have Lilith very close behind. Now, I know you can get very technical and say Lilith would have been first, but in a lot of mythology, Nama is the older sister. So it's just how it works sometimes. But I like the way Tabata fused them just into one level. I really like that. So then you have Lilith, who's got ice, and we talked about this, how fire and ice in Norse lore come together, the giants of ice and fire come together to create everything that we know physically. So I think that's where this is heading. And this is why we have our upper devils who have more complicated and overbearing laws of the macrocosm of the universe, like gravity, space, and time, even though I'm always going to stand by the fact that Lucifero does not have gravity magic. That was specifically stated. So what it actually is, I don't really know, and I'm really hoping it's real. But anyway, I think that's the whole point of this, is that these aeons are creating these rules that set their attributes like that. So that's for devils, though. They have the physical stuff. For the angels in this series, I do believe they're going to have things, feelings, because if we look at Saphira, we have the Saphira of like victory, love, and all that stuff. So they create these concepts that we hold near and dear to our hearts and that we keep in the back of our heads, things like virtue. How you relay that into magic, I'm not sure, but I think it's a very interesting thing to think about. So if that's what you mean, then yeah, I suppose so. And I do think, like, as far as Zagrid goes too, I actually use the term primordial ooze. That's what he made his vessel out of, in my theory, and in the way I took it. Because I think Zagrid he's a very specific type of being. And we're going to get into that in some future videos once I drop this one this week. But for me, what it looked like, because Zagrid, if you guys remember, he doesn't have this human vessel. He doesn't have an elf vessel. He created this out of, like, that same ooze that he licked with. And this had no specific name. And we have to remember that Zagrid's able to create things. He's able to speak it into reality. But it has to come from somewhere. Like, I know magic is, like, it's supposed to be like, yeah, it's just magic, and it, poof, boom, that's it. But it's got to come from something. Like, you cannot make something physical just out of nowhere. So what I felt like is that he was, and I think in a thread I go so far as to say he was the speech of God, where God says, let there be light, and it comes to fruition. But it comes from the primordial ooze of, like, chaos. So that's why I had him placed above the tree, above Satan and Moloch on the clipbot. But again, we're going to talk about it because Zagrid and a few other devils are very, very, very interesting, and I think we've miscategorized them ultimately. Not to say that they aren't devils, but I think there's some devils, and I put that in quotes, that are definitely miscategorized. So it'll be a really cool talk. I promise. I'm very proud of what's going on. All right, chat's going crazy. So final message. Many people are saying Lucifero versus Real Dark Triad plus situation is similar to Zagrid's final fight, but I really think it's going to be different because of Yami's heart and Lucifero noticing Zorus Grimoire. That's actually okay. So yeah, I'm one that does not mind a bit of repetition. In people do fail to realize in this case. I'm also watching this. People that do art just amaze me. You guys are a different breed, and I love you. So what was I saying? I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of repetition, especially in the nature of the story. We were given the story of the elves that correspond to the Sephiroth, which is ultimately, whether you guys like it or not, I'm sorry, it's a setup to a much bigger story. Now, was it really a really, really good arc? Hell yeah. It was one of the best arcs I've ever seen. But it's a setup, and this, I'm not saying this is what we're experiencing now is not a setup, because it is. You have to explain the light tree and the dark tree in order to understand the entire verse. Like, that's just the nature of the series. So if we see a bit of repetition, it's for good reason. It's because one tree reflects the other. So things are going to look a lot alike. Situations are going to look a lot alike. So I'm definitely not mad at that. But you do go on to say something about Yami's heart. We talked about that. I'm hoping there's something to do with Belphegor in there. Probably not, because Tabata hates me and my theories. And then we got Zorus Grimoire. Now, Zorus Grimoire, if you guys did not press that link I sent to you the other day, I guess I can sum it up for you right now. So I really like that Lucifero kind of scoffs at Zorus Grimoire, and like he just doesn't like it, and I think that's for a very good reason. Because if you look at Zorus Grimoire, it's got one of the most specific designs in this series, and I talked about it. I think was that 7 months ago. I think it said back when Magna unleashed his spell, because there was a symbol on Magna's spell that was very important, and it was also on Zorus Grimoire. So I just mashed those two things together. So the symbol that you see, take out the, we'll call them circles for now, on the edges, you have a heptagram, I believe it's called. So it's a square imposed on a square. And this is used to manipulate the outcome by controlling chaos and order. So by controlling order and in order, you dictate the outcome of what's going to happen. Now, Zora and Magna's magic isn't quite at that level. However, they do manipulate the situation enough to make it better for them. So I think that does say enough to lend into that theory. But then on top of that symbol, and there's a whole lot more in that video, I suggest you just go watch it, but that's kind of the Spark Notes version. But then on the outsides, on the corners of those superimposed squares, are the moon phases. So you have full moon, waning moon, or waxing, one of them. And then you get into the new moon. And then you go back into waning or waxing, and then new moon. Those are moon phases, and moon phases are super important when it comes to devils. Now, when you take everything and combine it, what this really reflects to me is the Key of Solomon. And that was essentially one of your most important grimoires. And it was used to not only know how to seal devils, but to summon them. So I think we might be getting some pretty cool lore as far as what am I reading? As far as how Lucifero and why Lucifero. I'm sorry, I'm reading this and I really just want to know what's going on, but why Lucifero reacted that way, because this is not the first time he's seen a grimoire. He was the host of Dante, who had a grimoire. He battled Yami with Dante, who had a grimoire. He battled Asta with Dante and Yami, who had a grimoire. He stood next to Asta, who had, literally next to Asta, who had a grimoire. The captains squared up with him initially, and they all had the grimoire. This is nothing new to him. So why specifically for Zora? And I can only imagine that's why. So that's kind of my take on it. I gotta catch up with these chats. Was finally catch one of your streams. By the way, Libe was lying. He does not know jack shit about anti-magic. I agree. I don't think Libe knows anything about anything. It's very hard for some people to understand that the the information that we got was from what he remembered as like a child, and then as a child he got yeeted out and spent the majority of his years on Earth within a grimoire. He doesn't know anything about anything. He might know the Supreme Devils for, the lowest level that he's on, the highest level that he was on, and then like the most Supreme Devil. But other than that, I don't think he really understands what's going on. So I don't, whatever Liebe says, not that he's like a liar or anything like that, but I don't take his word for a lot of the things that he says. How come Lucifero still doesn't notice Yuno's four-leaf and maybe his start? I don't know. Lucifero is definitely honed in on Asta and trying to kill him for some reason. That could be something we talk about today. I have a theory on why he needs Asta dead specifically. And it's going to go into like this next video, really. But we'll circle back around to it because I do want to catch up with these chats. Because artists starts posting color panels during weeknights. Oh, BC artist starts posting color panels during weeknights. Yeah, these dudes work fast. I find it funny that the character, man, flashbacks to every girlfriend I've ever had. I find it funny that you like to go out with your guy friends a lot, but you don't like to spend time with me. Just kidding. I find it funny that the character with the name that means light of God is fighting two people with abilities relating to darkness. Imagine if he starts using God's light and starts removing. That's a really cool thought, Gravity. I like that you said that. What's interesting, though, that I've been playing with since I started talking about Lucifer on this channel, is that I do feel like his light would be something more like Patri's light, where it's like this negative light, because that's what Luciferianism is. It's acknowledging the darkness. And okay, so to put it like this, imagine you're in a room, a very large room, and you're trying to find like I don't know, like what do you guys play these days? Your Nintendo DS, right? However, the screen is kind of down and it's faced away from you, so like the light that it would give off, you really wouldn't be able to find it in the super like dark room, right? Or in a light room, I should say. So if the room is lit as it should be, you wouldn't see the light of it. You just have to try and find the shape, which is good enough in some cases. But then darkness provides you this extra ability to see even the faintest of lights. So darkness has a place in this whole thing, in this philosophy. And I'm hoping that we see something very cool out of Lucifer. Because while I definitely dig the idea of him having this attribute that provides gravity, I will say, we can relate it to like his fall, and then him not wanting to bow down to humans, but making humans and lesser beings bow down to him is super fire. But I think we need to get into like the actual lore. Like, this guy was supposed to have been the one who brings us free will, the actual light bringer, the light of making choices for ourselves and empowering ourselves. So it's definitely something I hope Tabata gets more into. But yeah, I like that you said that. Pretty dope. What do you think is going to be the final villain of as a series? All right, you guys heard it here first. I think the ultimate villain is going to be God, but not the true God. It's going to be someone named Yaldabaoth. And yeah, I'm still getting my information together on that. But yeah, I think the ultimate villain is going to be named Yaldabaoth, and that would be very interesting. And you guys will see why when I finally get all that stuff together. I've got things lined up. I promise you guys. If you guys are only waiting because my schedule is super hectic, and I like to get more information together rather than find something and go like, oh, that's cool, I'll post it, and then find out like, all right, it's probably not. It doesn't hold much water, because it kind of wastes my time and it wastes your time. So hopefully you guys understand, like, the weight on this channel should be worth it, in my opinion. But yeah, that's who I think. Good question. Primordial forces is kind of like the Simsum, aka gods. You're using the actual terminology. I appreciate you, man. The Simsum, aka God's light, the energy that is responsible for the... Yeah, so, yeah, essentially. So, that Simsum that you're talking about is where the forces of chaos actually is. And maybe I'll do another, just like a rehash video of what that looks like. But when I talk about the nature of the clipboard and actually draw it out for you guys, I show you how the god that he's referring to in the Simsum, which is outside of the tree of life, connects to the realms of chaos, and how the dark god above or the dark gods, since the three veils above the tree of life reflect the three veils, which are three different deities below the tree of the clipboard. They all sync together, and they're essentially one synergetic being that hones in on this balance that we see on Earth and in the universe. But yeah, do you believe that Lucifer has multiple personalities because of the concept of mind, body, and dualism? I don't think he does, but from what we've seen, like, he's physically changed from like that super wrinkly thing and super angry to this very calm and very licked looking character. So if anything, this is something that WK had been harping on for a long, long time, where he at first thought that Lucifer would have three faces, and I think he still holds on to that. But then he was saying like, oh well, this could also be Lucifer and Moloch inside of one body, which would work. I mean, we saw Lilith and Nama fuse, and then it's just a matter of what Moloch would look like. Now, who knows if Moloch would be... Maybe Moloch in this case, like, I'm just trying to run with this idea and make it work. If Moloch in this case would be more like like what that spirit inside of Yuno is to Yuno, where it's separate but they share the same body. So this way Lucifero comes out with multiple attributes, and one of them would be Moloch's, and he reflects some of Moloch's personality traits through his own body and mind. So I think maybe, I think it's a definite possibility. You can't rule out much of anything in this series. As long as it makes sense and follows most of the lore, I think it stands to be true until proven otherwise. So yeah, those are some good questions, guys. Thanks for weighing in. I've been wanting to read this. Why, Buzzard? Are we bullying people? At Zalafrax, you waste of sperm, and I want you're a waste of sperm, and I want you to know that. That's mean. Did he deserve it? What do you say? Okay, so I'm tripping. Fire Force isn't a story in the Soul Eater world. It actually happened. Maka's parents were just telling her story like it was the Bible or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about Fire Force, man. Maybe he deserved that. You guys let me know if Zalafrax, Sassafras is a waste of sperm. Hopefully he isn't. That's really mean. Black Clover is doing setups and payoffs at the same time. And so, yeah, exactly what we were just talking about. Let's see. This scene is funny. Anything with Charmy is funny. Charmy should be a key player pretty soon. I don't know why she's not there. But anyway. Alright, I'm getting a lot of noties. So let's see. Mish. Is it Mish or Mick? Because we're going to go to your page next, buddy. And maybe even Oblivion. Oblivion he's funny to me. I love Oblivion. Okay, let's go to Mick's page. Because Mick is one of the most underrated accounts on Twitter, and also has just very, very cool ideas about like anything. You got it pinned? One day, one day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, this was like one of the first things I thought of. When this whole Spade art dropped, I was like, bro, get willing to make that tree, get Asta's sword, get Yami's dark magic, whack the tree, put all the devils back where they were. Right? The whole it's just what's gotta happen at this point. He retweeted my thing. Do you guys really think that the other forms surpass this one for Noct? Because this one is so fire to me. It just looks dope and badass, and it looks menacing. I love it. But people really like Candace and Felice. It's cool. I just don't think it's cooler than this. And then, man, Felice and Gallus was just not the wave. I'll tell you that. I didn't like that form from the get. So Salamander's arc when? We're going to talk about Salamander too, you guys. With this whole spirit talk that I have coming up. Should get spicy. Like, I think it's an idea that I got from Berserk. I'll say that much. And I think I might have posted that idea already, like maybe close to a year ago. But when I really started looking into it, I was like, oh, okay. And something very current happened that made me really lean into this idea. So, yeah, we're going to talk about spirits. Faux show. It's definitely a prince because the way he didn't pay anybody no mind was king shit. Yeah, of course. He's doing it better than most people right now. I want to see Noct with a mix of blonde and black in his hair. Let's see. Ooh, these Kaiju number 8 stuff, man. If you guys don't read Kaiju number 8, you're no friend of mine, that's for sure. Because that's peak fiction. Like, has you hyped up for no reason. No reason at all. Like, I don't know what Nalia does, but he does it right. While I'm looking, I guess I can tell you guys, like, I'm looking to change the format of how I lay these videos out. I really feel bad for not adding some like cool transitions. This is a really good Shinomiya coloring by Donna. All right, yeah, Donna's a goat. But yeah, I mean, I think you guys deserve some bit of visual stimulation, right? So, I'm looking to fix that so that you guys aren't just listening to my jazz, super sexy ASMR voice all the time. Let's see. Really nothing Black Clover related yet, man? Come on. This was fire though. I love this. Kaiju number 10 roars at Hoshina, and then he's like, all right, keep it down, dumbass. It was pretty good. Yeah. Okay, let's see. This motherfucker right here might have done something or modified Lucifero's memory or brain. He can steal knowledge. Lucifero's mouth on his head was shown to have a brain beside him in his laboratory. Lucifero's mouth. Oh, okay, he's listing these things. Okay. I was like, what happened? Is that why he can't remember Libe? Possibly. I just feel like he's a imposter altogether. But that's me, and my theories usually end up wrong, so that's fine. I mean, that's possible. We did see Morris take information from Lolo. That happens. But what would he have done? I mean, if anything, to best suit his own being, right? To modify Lucifero's memories, to maybe make sure that he has a place after the Advent's all said and done, could be cool. But yeah, that'd be some like 6,000 IQ play for sure by Morris, which is in the realm of possibility. He's a scientist. He's dope. Black Knight. Maybe I need to see the other perspectives of Cat and Dog. Yeah, I think that's what I need to. I just didn't see much of anything that I really, really liked on it. Okay. Jack got a hold of my account. Yeah, he got a hold of mine too. Try to sus me. So no more posting spoilers. Da 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 da. Man, he used to tweet like a bunch of theories. Maybe it's been a while. Let's see. Austin's about to join the donut gang. I hope not. I hope he turns someone into a donut. That'd be a twist right there. From victimizing people as a donut to becoming the donut maker. That is the Black Clover. Come on, man. Where are your theories? You have such banger ones, and I'd like to put them on here. Come on, Nick. You're killing me. Okay. You know what? Yeah, you're killing me, buddy. Mick, if you happen to be listening, I need you to just post theories. And then I will do this again. And then we're going to talk about your theories, because you have some good ones, excellent ones. And the world needs to know. But I'm getting more notice. Let's see. See, yep. Mick, oh, you gotta be watching, bro. Come on. You may be honest. Dude, these guys are so stupid. Oh, I did say we're going to go to Oblivion, right? So let's hit Oblivion real quick. He's not a theorizer, but he cracks me up sometimes. So I like to see what he's been doing. I don't really go to people's accounts like that. Like, I legit come on, I post, and I talk like on the TL or in DMs, and that's about it. So it's kind of cool to actually like go into your accounts like this. What? Would any of you get this if this was a plush? Like, honest question. But I've never seen that. That's funny. That's a good coloring of Sekre. I like that. All right. Okay. There's a lot going on in this, like, shading. I think if we were a little less intense on, like, you know, these background colors, like, you know, you see how, like, you see the I'm no artist, but, you know, how Yuno's green is kind of like, it kind of consumes everything, and then whoever this purple blackish thing is coming from Yami or Noct, combining it with all the red coming from Lucifero, I think it's a little much. So I think if they tone it down, this would be really, really good. That's my 2 cents, though. Okay, Oblivion, do you have a thing with cats? Is that the thing? Does it say it in your bio that, like, you're a cat guy? Are you a cat boy? No, you're not a Neko boy. Okay, you just maybe this is like his cat arc, Oblivion and his cat arc. That's fine. What is this? This is Black Clover? What is this? It's so dark I can't even see it. That's not Black Clover. Oh, yes it is. Oh, wow. That's not Candace and Echo's form. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this would be really good if they, like, brighten it up a bit. I know it's dark magic, and I know it's shadow magic, but it's, like, dark in nature. But I think we can lean off of it being so dark, because I can barely make out what's going on in that. Again, beautiful. All right, that's a slippery slope right there, I'll tell you that. Okay, that's a good coloring. So, Oblivion is he's a connoisseur of art. Oh, this is so cool. I like this. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good picture. Is this this looks like it was done with paint. Like actual paint. I know it's not, but this is really good. I wish I could do some of this stuff, man. This is so crazy. Anything else? See, again, it's so dark. But I do appreciate this one. I don't know how to describe it, but even though it's really dark on that one half of this picture, it really does, like, it lends to the rest. I don't know how to explain it, but they did this one right. Yeah, that was good. Ew. What the Okay. What? This is wild. Anyway, okay. Let's get to some other stuff here. Might end this soon. So, I've been getting some comments and people wanting me to, like, elaborate on stuff. So, there's a couple things. So, this, let's see what the chat's saying. Check DS, I will not. I'm still waiting for the Knock Devil and Leah Bay plushies. Yeah, dude. Black Clover could be making so much money off of this stuff. Like, such easy money. Quizzer. I think it's a cat day or something, so a lot of art... Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thanks for clarifying. I was thinking Oblivion might have hit his Neko Boy arc. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I'll maybe do like 2 or 3 posts to kind of elaborate, because I know I get kind of cryptic on here. So, we've been waiting for Angel's entire arc, and with some cool stuff I found, we may have had them the whole time. Now it's just a matter of where to start. So, this is going to be the video coming out this week. We kind of talked about in the beginning of the stream, but there's a lot of stuff we got to unpack, and it fits in perfectly. Like, I'll say it fits in perfectly. And I'm going to leave that one at that. So, you guys will see either Thursday or Friday what's going on. Again, another aired post before stream. Yo, let's go. We talked about the arm. What else? We talked about that. I thought this was personally funny for me. Just like how Tabata really does mess with us. Like, you know, those cocoons people were talking about. I never subscribed to that, but I thought it was hilarious that they meant nothing. Like, as far as we know for right now, they might come back somehow, but like, they just meant nothing at all. And Tabata was like, yeah, watch these guys. They're probably going to think it's something, though. The clock tower. I see people really going in on this clock tower. I just don't know, man. You know, I know we're expecting a time devil and all that, but I really don't think like it's here right now. Like, just specifically messing with that clock, because like, let's think about it. The clock tower is not a digital clock, right? It's a manual clock that has gears inside of it. So that thing was smashed to all pieces. Not to pieces, because we clearly see it's still like kind of intact, but like, it did take some damage, like, as a structure. So it'd be really surprising if somehow the gears inside are still working and all that correctly. So I don't know if that's enough for me to be like, yep, time devil, yep, it's coming. We just don't have it. But I mean, we know Tabata has done stuff like that before, so I'm not saying it's impossible. For me personally, I just don't think that's really what's gonna happen. Sorry, I was just checking some messages. And then the whole Belphegor thing, I had to take a shot at myself, because that was like one of my biggest theories, and definitely falling flat on its face as of current. So, and then everyone was thinking like this whole, this convergence of these wrinkles going into that one part of Lucifera right there. It was like, oh, maybe that was where the angel Michael stabbed his flaming sword into him in the last Advent and bodied him. And it's like, nope, not even there anymore. So, I don't know. Oh, that was kind of the whole thing. Oh, man, okay. So, I really, really need to talk about Noct. And maybe we'll just end it on this. And I'll find the tweet. Because people refuse to talk about Noct right now. And even though I'm not saying he's not a cool character. If anything, he's one of the coolest ones we have right now. But we're not talking about him the way we need to be talking about him. Or his family. Because there are several things that are not adding up like they should be. Let me first find the tweet that I'm referring to. Let me see if I can find it, and then I'll look at the chat real quick because I see there's a couple new. Did I pass it? Got silently packed like I normally do. Maybe I passed it. Hold on. Because, okay, I want whoever's watching right now, really think about what you know about Noct. And it's a fucking lie. That's all it is. That's all I can say before I find this post. The Black Sun, Belphegor. Come on, you guys. You see what I did there? Bell, eggplant, penis. Because Belphegor is the god of a phallus. Belphegor. Oh, you guys. Dropping bombs. Just kidding. All right. That's not it either. Okay, so I know it's below this, where I said I had a new Noct and Morgan theory. And I'm telling you here, it's written in stone Twitter. It's pretty whack right now because I just don't know what it means to the story yet. But, yeah. Here it is. Here it is. So think about everything you know about Noct. And then look at this. This is Noct's Grimoire as a kid. What the fuck is this? What is this? Now, we go to his current Grimoire. Now, this is taken when he meets Asta. They just showed his Grimoire in this most recent chapter too, and it's just like this. So, for anyone that's like, oh no, but it's probably not like that now. But that's what it is right now. This is what it was when they were kids. What the fuck happened? Right? So, people commented below saying like, oh, he's got a 4-leaf. What? I don't think that's a 4-leaf either. That doesn't look like a clover at all. That straight up and down looks like a cross. Before I get into this, I said I'd look at the chat real quick. All right. Oh, okay. So I'm just missing one. What do you think of Yami's pseudo clip-out katana? Do you think it has any relevance other than that? It has a lot of mana. Yeah. That should be probably one of the most effective weapons against Lucifero right now. Because, like you're saying, it's he can embody the forces of the clip-out. So, if anything, yeah. Definitely. What would be pretty cool, though, would be if he's able to seal Lucifero within that sword. And since it does mimic the clip-out, and they were all sealed within the clip-out, and then ultimately drop on the forces of Lucifero. So the sword is becoming almost like a relic, in a sense. And maybe even somehow make a pact, now that he's reunited with Noct, to somehow make a pact with Lucifero to be able to use that power. And especially with Yami being so closely connected to the tree now, I think it would make a lot of sense, and it'd be super dope for a guy like Yami. But not without consequences, which we do admittedly seem to be lacking in this series right now. Yeah, the parts going out from the center don't really look rounded like the Clovers. Right, okay, so let's get back to this. So yeah, that straight up and down looks like a cross to me. The fact that it disappears tells me there are one of two possibilities. Number one, what do we know about Noct? Back at this moment when this Grimoire was shown, Noct didn't have any devils. Okay, so we can maybe assume that as he got into working with devils and making these contracts with Gimodello, Slotos, and the others, that this cross somehow meant that he had some form of purity. And now that he made these pacts, it's now gone. Now there's problems with this, because one, we don't see that with anyone else. We don't see the Grimoire actually make a huge change. And when we do see a Grimoire change, it's a direct change to the person itself, despairing and making a fifth leaf, and that devil taking over that person in their Grimoire. So that's the only other situation that we've seen a Grimoire actually change like that. Now, the other possibility here that I've been really getting at is that Noct and Morgan, that whole story was botched for whatever reason. Now, what I've been thinking about is that what if the person that we know right now isn't Noct, but it's Morgan? So back then, when this Grimoire was shown as children, this is actually Noct. This is Noct's true Grimoire, right? And then we have Morgan, currently, okay, I know it's going to get really weird to explain and to think about. And like I said, what this does for the story, I'm not completely sure. But I think there is still something there. Because shortly, either before or after this, we get a little rehash of Morgan saying, I'm kind of jealous because you are a better match for my brother than I am. And so I wonder how far like this jealousy can go, right? So there's this huge theme with Tabata, like all that glitters is not gold, right? We've had some of the most upstanding characters become some of the worst. Namely, William. We thought William was supposed to be the next Wizard King. He was the most sought-after captain, one of the best and strongest fighters we had, and then he ended up being the biggest antagonist in the previous arc. I mean, let's think about this. This kind of goes back to the conversation we had about Lucifer and Laura being related to light, and then me bringing up the negative light aspect of this, and how darkness plays a factor in appreciating even the dimmest of lights, where light does not allow you that luxury. Where, what if Morgan, yes, was like this altruistic guy that he was painted out to be, Noct wanted to be like him, but that was just a facade. That was what he portrayed to the world, to not suspect him of having these deeper and more dark thoughts and ideologies. So when Noct was approached, what if it was Morgan instead? Or it couldn't even still be Noct. Something happened within this range. And we're going to get into why I think something happened with this story and why it's so botched. Because we see Morgan ends up coming in, and he interferes with the ritual by smashing the relic, and then he dies. Okay, so we know that Morgan was a part of the Grey Deer squad with Yami and Julius, right? My question has been, since that, how did they relay this information to everyone else? Because these are a family of nobles. So an entire family got wiped off the face of the planet without a trace except for one. And there were no questions about what happened? Like, no one attended that funeral. Was like, dude, where the fuck is everybody else? Like, where's the family? This was like your guy's best man that you had, and he was a good magic knight, yet no one else appears. Where's mom? Where's dad? Right? But it's just Noct and Yami right there, right? Now, I'm not saying like they easily could have, like a crowd easily could have left, which I assume would have been magic knights, but where are the questions? What was the story given to the people saying that, oh yeah, they were slaughtered by, I don't know, spade invaders for no reason? You know, there's got to be a story that was told. Now, even if they made a cover, the fact of the matter is that the Clover Kingdom knew what was going on from the beginning. They knew that devils were a part of their system, well, part of the world for sure, but a part of their immediate system. They knew. They had to have known. So what happened? So now I have to go back to, like, what happened with this Grimoire? Like, is this actually Morgan that we have right now? And I don't, and something happened within this whole debacle. Maybe it was a result of smashing that relic, who knows? But something's going on with Noct, and we're not talking about it enough. We're not talking about how the Foss family was easily wiped off the face of the planet, and no one asked any questions. And we're not talking about exactly what Yami knows about this, because the same questions would have to be asked by literally both of their succeeding sons' best friend. Like, what exactly does Yami know? So, I don't know. There's something really, really fishy happening here. And I know I put up a lot of, like, red flag videos. I'm like, oh, this might not be Lucifero, this is Belphegor. But, like, this is a legit red flag. Like, this is so intentional. And we got to talk about it. So, that's kind of just where I'm coming from with this. But I think currently, I think the best explanation I have is that this, what we have now, is, in fact, Morgan. And you're probably asking, like, how is he able to use shadow magic? They probably had different magic. He was labeled as, like, a light mage, whatever. something happened, and maybe that came with smashing that relic, because we saw Lucifugis has this very, very similar type magic, and maybe that was the reason why it went so wrong, and why Morgan in that case, Morgan in quotes, didn't die a normal death like everyone else did, right? So let's think about it this way. Nox's father intentionally says, who I also do believe is Dante in another form. Check out those videos because those are crazy. But I do think that Nox's father said what he said on purpose, right? He said that you inherited the same spirit and magic, and then introduced him to Lucifugis. So to me, Lucifugis doesn't have dark magic. He specifically has shadow magic. And that's what it looked like to me. And so, for me, the reason why this Morgan didn't die the same death everyone else did is because they had the same attribute. So it didn't work like that. Or else Noct would have also died. Now, there's also an explanation that I've given out for why Noct wouldn't have died in that ritual. And that's, one, because he has the relic, and two, if we go with the Faustian legend, he meets Astaroth, and anyone who has this ring is saved from his foul breath, which will kill you. So that could suffice to explain why that didn't happen for Noct, in quotes, in that situation, but it could suffice to say that Morgan had a different type of light magic. Or they were just specifically speaking to his character and not so much his attribute. So, yeah, that's kind of where my head is. You guys gotta let me know what you think about it, but we gotta amp up the talk, about what's going on. Because like I said, to go from what we know as Nox's Grimoire to a flashback showing his Grimoire specifically being different in this one respect, has got to raise some kind of flag, okay? Other than that, let's see what the tree of Yggdrasil is different from the tree of Clipot. Was it something I said that made you confuse Gravity? I'm not sure. The tree of Yggdrasil is different. Maybe when I was talking about the sword, you mean? So what I was saying was, yeah, William has power over the tree of life, which is Yggdrasil. But as we see, with Yami's dark magic running through it, you can unlock the gates of Clipot. So by using that sword, he should be able to channel that power. Hopefully that clears things up and answers your question. Quiz, I'm not sure what Castor and Pollux is, so maybe if you want to clear that up for me, I can better answer your question. Understand what you mean by that, but what if the cross is Morgan represents Nox's flight, similar to what Nox said when Morgan died? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. What if the cross is Morgan? Oh, you mean okay. Oh, okay. So I think if I'm reading this correctly, Black Knight, is I think you're confusing the timeline here. So I should have put up the full picture, but Noct, this Grimoire that's on the screen right now that has the cross, is shown when Noct is with Yami, as kids. So I doubt that would be Morgan, because at this time, this is when Noct and Yami were shown to be kind of running around, causing just enough trouble to stay out of real trouble. And then we have the blank Grimoire that was shown in just this last chapter. And then this is the one specifically from when he meets Austin, stops him from going to the Spade Kingdom alone. So hopefully I got that right. I'm not sure if I read it right, but hopefully I did. But yeah, I think it warrants a pretty good discussion. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about a whole lot lately. What it does to the story, I'm not sure, and that's why I said it's the theory's kind of ass, because I have no idea what it does at all. But I mean, it would definitely change the way we look at some things for sure. But ultimately, to just randomly, just throw it in there without rhyme or reason doesn't really make much sense. But I mean, it could happen. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I've got to go. I've got to head up and start coaching today. We're trying to get to championships, so got to work hard. Got to work hard. So just to let you guys know, that video about kind of restructuring the way we look at Austin and Liabe as far as their cosmic standing is coming out either Thursday or Friday. And then the format of the channel is going to look a bit different just as far as what you guys get visually. So please do be patient with me. I know for a lot of you day ones, it's kind of been shifting here and there. I'm still trying to find like that sweet spot that we can all just enjoy, this platform on. So I think I've kind of got the right idea. So coming up in the next few weeks, you might see something a bit different, and maybe a little bit more personable. So stay tuned for that. And then I think there's one other thing. Let's talk about Nocta Morgan more. I'll probably post some more stuff on the timeline because there's also some other stuff that insinuates that the Clover definitely knew what was going on with the Fosts. Without a doubt, knew what was going on. And this has some very cool historical background attached to it. And I don't really talk about history too much on this channel, so that should be pretty interesting. It might not be on the channel. It might just be a thread, so be on the lookout. But thank you guys for tuning in. I gotta say, shout out, Quiz, Black Knight, Gravity. You guys are dope. Thank you guys for your questions. Final message, you two. You guys had some really good ones. Thank you for the conversation. If you guys want to see this again, just let me know in the comment section below or on Twitter. It's been Jack Goes the Goat. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. You either know or you don't. Now I gotta